Okay, I'm live. All right. Okay. I just thought I would go live tonight because I wanted to just come on and really just vent a little bit on my channel. Mostly no one is subscribed or watching my channel. So I think I can kind of vent here a little bit. And so I'm going to use this tonight to vent because there's some heavy stuff on my chest right now. And I just really, I kind of just want to get it off my chest. And so here it is. All right. So it's, it's a crazy thing. Like when you choose to take a life path is that the people around you aren't necessarily traversing. Um, Even though that path may be right for you and you may be successful in it, it's still lonely when the people around you don't really appreciate the work, the effort, or they really don't see the value, or they really just it's one of those, at a girl, pat on the back kind of things, but they don't really, it's not really in them. Like they're not really there with you, they're not really there with you. And though you're not doing anything harmful and you're doing something productive, and this is, I imagine this is across, a lot it happens a lot in black families, okay? Where you may have the first college graduate or the first person to in the family to become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, just to be something successful. And yes, it's celebrated, but at the same time, there's a there's a certain level of disdain for you amongst them, uh amongst your family members. And I've went for years without pointing it out, just noting it and just really trying to um just overlook it. But as time go on, it becomes more and more pronounced to me that I'm alone on this journey. And though I have close family members, they're only looking in the window. They are it's like somebody, you walk past the window and you see a pretty dress in the window and maybe you can't afford the dress, so you look at it through the window and you don't necessarily go in the store. You you're just looking at it through the window. And sometimes I feel like that's me. Like I feel like they're watching me through the window. And when I make a misstep or something goes wrong, they're still on the other side of the window. So it's not like they're going to rush in and try to help or something. They're just going to watch. And if you make it out, great. If you fall, great. Like they're not going to flinch. They're not coming in to help you. No matter how close you think they are, no matter what you call them, they're just not, don't expect them to really be there with you. Emotionally, mentally, physically, definitely not financially. So what do you do? Um, I think this is also part of the reason why I wanted to get married when I was, younger, is because I realized that there was a real disconnect. And I thought by creating my own family that I would have that support network or that I would find that support in my husband. Um, Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And that was just a real mess, a real shit show. And so I've been having to face, this journey alone. And sometimes, I really am confronted with that. So my mom's husband just recently passed away. And after he passed away, she's been kind of getting really radical about religion. Now, I'm a Muslim, and I'm just like, I find it very the path that she's going down. I'm like, trying to pull her coattail a little bit, like, hey, that's a little radical, that's a little racist, like certain things. And you know, it's on the one hand, I'm concerned for her because her spouse just passed away, but on the other hand, I'm just like, I'm not sure what to how to see it. And then I'm dealing with this while at the same time, I was like talking to a gentleman, and then, things didn't work out, it fell apart. And I'm still going in my head like, what happened or whatever. Not really knowing, not really well, I kind of know, but I let's put it like this. Like, I'm not willing to be who he wants me to be, and that's just it. So it's over, and I know it's over, even though like he still calls or whatever. Um, I know it's over. I know that I'm not going to marry him, and it's not going to be what I wanted it to be anyway. It's not even going to come close to that, right? So it's over. But I'm also faced with the fact that I may never find that person who I'm looking for. Um, and I'm trying to reason and contemplate with myself, what if I don't? Am I going to be happy with just you know, not if, but how do I become happy with just living my life, having my children, pursuing my goals, um, you know, sticking firm to my religion, and, just enjoying that part of my life. Like, my life is, i- I don't want my life to be founded or to be only about some relationship that I'm not having, or that I'm I I'm imagining, or what have you. And I do believe like you can, like, here's the thing. I've reached some great goals in my life. So I know it's possible to have the things that you want. But for some reason I'm not willing to really ask for that. I'm not really truly all in on asking for this husband, because I'm not truly sure that I even want it. Like, I want it, but it's like, but these conditions have to be in place. If he's not, of course, it's certain things. If he's not kind, if he's not you know, financially stable and generous, if he's not, you know, if he doesn't meet these criterion, For me, it's a no. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I've been married before. I've experienced what it's like to be in a marriage that I don't want to be in, and it's torture. Like it's torture having someone in your house walking around that you're just like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm ready for this to be over. I'm ready for this person to get out of my space. And they're just there like a minute too long. A minute, a day and a minute too long. And I don't want to put myself in the position where I have to endure something like that again, because it feels like, it feels like your breath is being cut off, when you're in a situation like that. Um, and I think it's especially for me, because I'm a very, once I make my mind up kind of person, that's it. And that's because I make my mind up very slow, right? But once I make my mind up, it's done. Like whatever way my mind I it's done, because for me, being that I make my mind up very slow, it's like I'm waiting to tick these boxes. If these all of these boxes get ticked, it's, I'm my decision is whatever. No, yes. So by the time all of these boxes get ticked, which it takes a while, I know I'm firm in my decision. Like my decision is firm. I I've I've done away with any shadow of a doubt in my mind that this thing is either going to work or not going to work. So at that time, once I make my mind, like I want that person out, like that day, like bye. I do not want them to, you know, linger around or still be in my space or still be in my home. I don't want that. Or I have to still be in their home or what have you, which is why I would never, I would never. Um, and so just sitting here and it's like, okay, so what was it with, these past relationships that didn't work out? What is it with my family members that isn't gelling? It's not familying. Um these relationships aren't relationshiping. What is that about? What do I, what do I do? What do I um how do I reconcile me thinking of myself as a decent person? Um, I don't want to be with a whole lot of men. So the fact that I want one relationship, I just want one steady relationship. And it's like if I choose to be with a lot of men, not a lot of men, but like basically, if I just want to go serial dating, I have that available to me, but I don't have available to me one steady partner who's going to be faithful, who's willing to fill in the gaps, in my life, who's, not breadcrumbing me or trying to, you know, have someone here and someone there. Like, he's willing to give me his full attention, his full time, his full energy, his faithfulness, his loyalty, and his love, and his kindness, compassion. And it's just like, I'm not finding that. But not only am I not finding that, I see very few women who are finding it too. So it's kind of like I'm at the point now where it's like, am I asking for something? Is this a tall order? Is it a tall order what I'm asking for? Um I I I just I don't know anymore. And so I'm now reconciling with myself. Okay, what do we set our life up? Because I like to plan my life out. Like if I plan to get married, I plan to, go down this career path, I plan to, have this many kids or go this place or go that place. Like I like to kind of plan, have a loose plan for, 5 years out. And I'm trying to figure, should I put marriage in that plan? And it's all signs are pointing to no. I'm feeling like my energy will be better spent pursuing my career goals and taking care of my children. And I really don't see any reason to invest in men. I don't want to become that person though. I really don't want to become that person. I really don't want to become that person, but it's like I kind of feel like I'm being pushed in that direction where it's like I'm not going to find one solid partner, so just have multiple and don't really put any real emotions and energy into it. And I don't even know if I can do that. I don't even know if I'm capable of that. I don't even know. I don't even want to know. I don't think I'm capable of it. I've tried it, I'm not really capable of it. So now I'm at the point where I I'm looking and I'm like I can fill my time up with learning my religion, teaching my children, taking care of them, taking care of my children, pursuing my career goals, pursuing my health goals. That's enough to keep me occupied for at least at least the next 10 years, right? Um I'm just really not understanding what is it about me that's not gelling. Am I asking too much? Am I asking too much? And if I am I willing to take less? No, I'm not. So I'm back right back where I started at, where it's like, okay, you're gonna make a life plan, and marriage isn't gonna be in there. A relationship with a man isn't gonna be in there. Um, so what do we do? How do we guard ourselves? Because I've also noticed it doesn't escape me that there is an inclination towards men that is I don't know what to call it, but there's this sense of sometimes that my heart and my brain are incongruent. They're incongruent. Like my heart is saying, hey, yeah, we want this. We want to feel love. We want to hug. We want to kiss. We want to, and my brain is saying, this fool ain't worth it. This fool ain't serious. And it's like the two are fighting with each other. And I'm in my head just fighting with each other. They're fighting with each other. And I'm trying to figure out, how to how to reconcile it. And I can't, so sometimes I come to understand that there's some things I need to do to protect myself if I want to put myself in that energy. There's some things I need to do to protect myself. Bismillah. So the is compounded because I don't really have my uh let's just put it like this. My parents live far out. My siblings, they're wrapped up in their own life. And so I'm here. I have my children, but they're young, I can't really. I talk to them about those kind of things. And I don't I can't find the kind of spouse that I want. And I'm not the kind of person like people will say, oh, eventually you'll just settle or what have you. That's not my forte. That's just not it's not what I do. Like I'm a very driven person and I'm a very if I can't have what I want, I don't want it. I don't want it. And it's hard for me to pretend like something I want that I don't want. Like it's hard. And I think that's also part of why these men that, it didn't go anywhere, our interactions, even though they seemed what's the word? They seemed interested. They, you know, they express some sort of, attraction. Ultimately, it didn't work out. And I think it's in my mind, I think it's because they the things that I want, I don't think they see they don't they're not willing to go through those kind of changes for someone like me. So then I have to ask myself, would I want to be with somebody who don't see that kind of value in me? Because when you say settle, that's what we're doing. We're settling or we're trying to have a relationship with someone who is constantly showing us, though you see yourself here, I see you here. I see you here. And I'm only willing to do this amount of work because I only see you here. And now you have to say, you want to tie your life, you want to tie your life in with someone who sees you as, some sees who doesn't want to work for you. They need you to put everything right at their fingertips. And if it's not right at their fingertips, they're not going to bother. It's just like, oh, okay, well, I got somebody over here and they're willing to, bust it open. They willing to, give me access to the money. They willing to, move me in their house. They willing to, and it's always gonna be somebody willing to do that. So it's like, okay, well, here we go. I'm not willing to do that. You're not moving in my house. You're definitely not getting none of my money. And you know, it's if if you're treating me, if you don't see me as your Beyonce, then we ain't working out. We just not working out. We not, because I see myself as a 10. I don't care what society say. If you're with me, you're my 10 and I'm your 10. That's it. It's no, oh, I'm no. Uh-uh. So, because when I'm around my mate, I need them to look at me like I'm the most beautiful woman in the world. I need them to see me through and through. I need them to see my beauty, my personality, my backstory. I need them to have compassion. I need them to have attraction. I need them to um jump through hoops, to be willing to, go through the fire. How they say? Through the fire, through the river, through the mountains, or whatever. However that song go. I need them to be willing to do all of that. Okay. And if not, it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work for me. It's just not. So I'm okay. I'm okay being alone, right? I'm okay being alone. The problem I have is that people come and they play with your emotions, they play with, with your peace. That's what gets me. So I was triggered tonight because the thing with my mom, and she's she's getting like hooked in with these Hebrew Israelites, and I'm just like, oh my God, no, please, no. I mean, I've heard some horror stories, and just, I can't. So, she hung up the phone on me, and, it's nothing I could do. She a grown woman, so that's basically it right there. So, you know, that kind of made me sad. And then also thinking about, you know, uh, relationships that are just dead end. Like they're dead on the vine. So, there's nothing for me to get out of them. There's nothing coming of it. It's not going anywhere. And it's just like, what do you want? And I want to travel. I want to read books. I want to learn Quran, learn Arabic. I want to see my children graduate high school and go off to tech school or college or wherever they would like to go. I I want to work on my health. I want to lose weight. Um, I want to advance in my career. So, there's a lot that I can work on. There's a lot that I can be preoccupied with, and I'm okay with that. I think those things can keep me busy perhaps for like the rest of my life. Um and I'm reconciling with the fact that it may be better for me to do that because I'm not willing, and I don't even think I have it in me to go through another bad marriage. I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. I don't want to go to jail. So I don't have I just think it might be better for me to just turn my attentions other places. Um even dating is is a job. Like when I really think about how much time, and energy I was putting into, talking to men and, basically interviewing them and, trying to figure out, who they really are and background checking them and they would jump through all of these hoops and I would do all of the background check and you know all that stuff and they still would be scumbags. Like a background check doesn't really tell you, I mean, it tells you if the person's been caught, what they've been caught doing, but it doesn't really tell you what kind of person this is in a relationship, right? So that part. So I spent money on having, access to background checks so I could search people's name and address and license and all that stuff only to really just realize, I'm putting a lot of energy and time into random people for the most part that I could be putting somewhere else, you know? So I decided I wanted to build me a YouTube for single moms, for women in general, for women, children. And so that's what I decided to work on. Now, usually right now, what time is it? It's 11:11. Okay. I would probably be on the phone or I would be just getting off the phone with someone who wants to date or I would be chilling with them on the phone. Um and basically most of my free time would be free time is that's the word I use very loosely, free time, as if. But any free time I had would be spent kind of talking on the phone, background checking, checking out people's stories, looking into addresses, family members' names, um, all that stuff, where they went to school and stuff like that. And yeah, basically do all of that and then maybe a month, 2 months in, meet the person and then maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 if you're lucky. Uh, it would end, and then, there would be like a lull, a month go by, and then the same process would start back up. Meet somebody else, background check this out, talk on the phone, meet them, blah blah blah. Back, back to square one again. Um, yeah. So I don't know, you guys. At some point, you gotta cut your losses and be like, okay, where am I gonna put my time at? Where am I gonna put my I can continue to put my time in this black hole and coming up with nothing, or I can pull my time and energy away from that, which is definitely what I'm gonna do. Pull my time and energy away from that and just put my time and energy into myself. And we're gonna play the attraction game. We're gonna play the law of attraction thing, right? Forget about it. Do what I'm doing, and maybe by some chance, I'll meet someone along the way. And if I don't, it's okay because I'll be working on things that I like, things that I love. Learning Arabic, taking care of my children, pursuing, higher career goals, advancing in my career, uh, you know, becoming the best version of myself. So, yeah, I do feel a little bit better getting that off my chest. It just was bothering me because I realized like I don't really have I don't really have that family connection like I want like I would like. Well, I don't really have that mother-daughter connection like I would like to have. I just don't have it. Um my mom is kind of like well, first of all, she's far away. And if I call her and I'm not totally agreeing with her, she'll hang up. She'll slam the phone down. So, um that is what it is. So, I guess, I just got to move on. Um yeah. I tried calling my dad, but his phone was going straight to voicemail. So after sitting for a while with my thoughts, I had started to kind of pout a little bit. And I was like, okay, wait, um, let me let me turn on the camera and let me just go ahead and vent. I mean, let me just reconcile myself. Let me reconcile myself. And I think, that's what I'm going to be doing from now on because waiting for people to come and talk to them and, they may or may not understand where you're coming from. And you certainly can't talk to the people that's causing the problem. So we're back at square one. We're back at square one. So, yeah, I will never understand my phone and why this email is not going out. Hmm, I don't know. We'll try it again. But yeah, so that's that. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here because I'm getting kind of sleepy. And okay, so that's it. Okay. So, um, yeah. So anyway, this was just my live tonight. I don't know if I'm gonna go live every night, if that's gonna be something I do or not. Maybe I'll do a wrap up. Um, but yeah, I gotta go to bed because I'm getting tired and I gotta get up early in the morning. So deuces. If you watch this later, Um, thank you. If you can relate to any of this, would love to hear your comments and your story as well. Like, comment, and subscribe. I see you guys on the next one.